This is an ad.
I hate it!
An ad for crisp, refreshing Angry Orchard hard cider.
That is refreshing.
An ad that interrupted your podcast.
I hate being interrupted!
To remind you to stop being angry at me and crack open an Angry Orchard.
That's a good idea.
Don't get angry. Get Orchard. Angry Orchard Cider Company, LLC. AngryOrchard.com. Please drink responsibly. Angry Orchard is a hard cider with other natural flavors.
The fields full of dust, weeds don't even grow. I spend my morning just cleaning shit off the old scarecrow. This house is falling down, the baby's bellies are broken out. It could rain for a month or more, but still be stuck in a drought. Hello, eyes and land, they might hold out for the rookie, but I burned the wood pile.
All right, welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast. Curtis Wilson on this end.
Brian Siegler here on this end. How's it going, guys?
Dude, rolling today at work. It's been a fun day with a lot of different stuff. I know you got called into a meeting where we were going to do this a little while ago.
Well, it's spring break here on campus, and this is our special spring break episode, but your boy's still working, so not so much of a spring break. But we'll see how it goes.
Not much of a spring break. Yeah, you talk about working during spring break, man. I've never had the opportunity to ever take a true spring break. All the years in school was either when I did local community college, I was working a job, and then down at Longwood the 3 years, I would go back to Halifax and work. I needed money. It was sort of
money is definitely better than spending it on, when you don't have it. So no trips to Cancun for you then.
No,
not
unfortunately. I think I could have a couple times, but it was one of those things. Do I really want to go through the last 6 weeks before summer break and not have any money? Like literally drinking John Paul Jones and Mickey's the rest of the semester and eating D-Hall food.
I mean, you could be stuck with Mad Dog 2020, so, it could definitely be worse.
It could be, but that's the way it goes. Did you? No, you've never really had any spring break experiences like out at like the typical spring break, but you had one right back maybe your junior year.
Yeah, so I just started dating my wife, so we were still just pretty early in the dating range at that point, and so spring breaks were different weeks. So I actually headed up to Blacksburg, scooped her up from Lee Hall, and headed over to some of my buddies' place and had a good night of drinking. And at some point, there was a truck pull in the Fox Ridge parking lot. I don't know how that happens, but, we're from a small town in the South, so shit like that usually happens at some point.
It's Fox Ridge, man. It's Fox Ridge.
Exactly. So yeah, there was a lot of Jack and Coke, there was a lot of beer, and then there was a truck pull. So a typical weekend Saturday night in Fox Ridge.
Oh yeah, the times at Fox Ridge spent. That's as you hear me and Brian talk, that's where a lot of our friends who went to Tech, who we would go to Blacksburg and hang out with. I feel like 90% of them lived in Fox Ridge.
At some point or another, yeah. At some point or another, they ended up in Fox Ridge at least for 1 year.
So that is one part of our Virginia Tech experience. It's funny, when we went to the Pitt game, did you notice who the sponsor of Tots was, the cup?
Oh, yeah. We had some Fox Ridge shout-out right there, wasn't it?
It was Fox Ridge.
Okay.
Like your genius marketing. Awesome. Well, guys, this isn't going to be one of our long, more in-depth podcasts. We're just going to hit a few things this week.
Spring break.
Spring break, yeah. We've got to have some time off to recalibrate our brains with all the between work, family, and talking about Hokies football. So let's kick it off here. the XFL MVP.
I mean, 3 out of 5 weeks, we got a star of the week in Cam Phillips, man. I mean, what can we say at this point?
I mean, 31 catches, 455 yards, 9 touchdowns. This is game 6 this coming week, so they've only got a few games left. I mean, we've said it 2 or 3 times. He's going to be on an NFL roster, and then, it's good to me. It's one of those things that's good for Hokie football because it kind of says, you have the potential to keep playing professionally. This guy's balling. Cam's got a good personality. You can tell that by what did he have, chips and dip on the sidelines or at halftime the other week?
Yeah, I don't know what he was eating at halftime, but whatever it was, it worked.
It worked. So, that was something cool. Couple weeks ago, Brian, if you didn't see, I remember Kevin Lewis, the D tackle from kind of our golden age of Hokie football.
Yeah.
He got hired by Furman as the D-line coach. So
nice.
Again, it's great to see those former Hokies continuing to thrive in the college football community. We mentioned earlier his brother's down at Verona, so again, one of those cool things. What else have you seen, Brian, that kind of caught your eye?
I'll tell you the big thing, the Hard Hat series continues to knock it out of the park. We got to see Daxon Rook, Rashard Ashby, kicking it back and forth this week. Well, I guess it was the end of last week was when that happened. Yeah. The content just keeps getting better and better, and I really like this one a lot. What did you think about it, man?
I absolutely loved it. The series in general is great because, again, you're getting the personalities, not only of the players, which, you can see on the field, but you're seeing some with the coaches. With these two guys, it's awesome to see, one of the 804's very best get some time to shine. Mr. 6 Foot. I think that's what they should nickname him now, Mr.
6 Foot. Yeah,
Mr. 6 Foot.
He's I'm 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot. Dak's face on that one, right? And then Rayshard kind of had this little wry smile on his face. But again, it's showing the personality. It's allowing us to peel some of the layers that we've been wanting as fans. And to me, they are a formidable linebacker duo, man, and they played great. And I think they kind of counteract each other because, Rook, you do see, even with the interview, Rook more disciplined, finding the tackle, plays hard. As they said, he is a dog. He was not highly rated coming out. And then you've got Dax just, the 180 opposite, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Dax is very vocal, very loud, highly rated prospect when he came out. And to me, he's lived up to it, especially when he was thrown in that freshman year. He made some mistakes, but there are a couple games that we won that if he hadn't been on the field playing in that backer position, we probably don't make a bowl. What else did you see from it?
I mean, I think the big thing is that, I know some people probably have a similar relationship that I'm about to describe here, but, you got two guys that more or less have very different were very different before they arrived in Blacksburg, I feel like, but they found something that united them, and they have this mutual respect for it, but they also have developed this friendship as a result of that mutual respect. And you could kind of feel that dynamic between them. These are guys that probably have very different come-ups, but are still have found something in common that really, really binds them pretty close. And I thought that was really special to see. And just, the camaraderie that you see there, them tossing it back and forth, and, Dax giving Rayshard a hard time about the 6 foot comment. And, I mean, you could definitely tell that there's history there, and that they really have an appreciation of not only, being a little bit different personality-wise, but also being different in how they how their games are, but at the same time, the one thing that's similar between both of them is how hard they work at it. And I feel like that's where that mutual respect comes in.
Absolutely. And then you talked about them, if you remember, one of the big words, if I can recollect, was they said family quite a few times.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then they talked a little bit about Jay Ham. And it's been a few days since we watched this, guys, so, apologize if we're not hitting all the key points. But the family thing was a big thing to me, and you're kind of hearing that more and more. It's kind of almost like a theme this offseason because, you had the Hoffman episode and those guys talking about how he came in and became that leader, kind of the leader of the family who wasn't able to play. Then we saw the video with, the discussion, and we didn't get to discuss this, so let's hit it now with when they had the Cornelsen, Fuente, Weiss, and Tyrrellnick talking about essentially living in a frat house when they were just getting their start at Illinois State. About it was like a family. It was just a bunch of guys on a grease board after just football all the time. You kind of saw that with the Hamilton when we met the defensive coaches. That's the trend this year.
Oh yeah, you saw it with QP and Hendons too as well. So it's all definitely going back to this is a family. We all come from different areas, but when we're here, we're family. We're together. This is what it's all about. We lean on each other when we need to. We pick each other up when we need to. That's what it is.
Yeah, and something else that kind of goes back, and I think you got to listen to it. I'm going to give a shout out to Tech Sideline, Will Stewart, the godfather of independent Tech football and sports talk, along with Chris Coleman and all those guys over there who do a great job. Listening to the Teal interview, you did get to listen to it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And David Teal discussing how our head coach, when he is in front of that podium, he is a different person than when he is in a room with 4 or 5 people. And it's one of those things, it's probably his personality. Should Whit Babcock go hire somebody to help him at the podium? Yes, please. Please. Sometimes I think we do see Coach Fuente come off the cusp and say a little more, but he's very tight-lipped. It's almost one of those things like, don't give your enemy any words that they can put up as motivation.
He's not trying to give anybody extra ammo, so he plays it close to the vest in those situations. And it's probably coming from somebody that either taught him that or he learned that on his own. Because there's all sorts of situations of somebody saying something, off the cuff. God, Mike Leach has made an entire career out of it.
Exactly.
So, and sometimes to his detriment and sometimes to his credit. There's a reason probably Mike Leach is just now starting to get some major run at bigger schools, and even then, we're still talking about second tier in terms of the conference he's in. So there's a reason for that, and some of that is the fact that sometimes those things that endear us to the fans can also backfire
to administration.
Exactly. So. I think somebody like Mike Fuente has definitely got that in their mind when they're talking about it. So,
100%. And it's one of those things too, and we can all joke about it. Folks listening out there, folks who work, like Brian works for an educational institution. I work for a pretty large corporation. You can't just go out and just shoot things off at the hip. Sometimes it's a good way to get in a lot of trouble with your 2 VPs, or in your case, like your director. Like, so you said what? Oh yeah, I shouldn't have said that, huh?
Yeah, I can hear from from anywhere from my supervisor to my department head to dean of students, dean of school of medicine. So there's a lot of layers where I could hear things from if I say something that doesn't reflect well upon the university or is not in my purview to speak on publicly.
Exactly. So, so let's put that hat on sometime when you see our head coach up there. Do we want to be more animated? Yes. Maybe it'll come in years. Let's cross our fingers. I really wish we could see some old stuff of Frank in the late 80s, early 90s, because I think we all have the vision of Frank his last, decade when he was pretty much entrenched and the legend. Frank was very loose. Frank was fancy gap, and we loved him for it. So yeah.
Frank knew how to bullshit in a way that didn't get him in trouble too. So I think it's an art. Not everybody has that gift.
Exactly. Moving on to more topics. The big 5-star visit, man. Brian, you followed this pretty close. So what have you read and seen about the TreVeyon Henderson visit last week down in the Berg?
I mean, we got word from it that it was coming, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, he's going to be in Blacksburg. And I was like, okay, well. And then the big thing that I saw, and the big thing that I love about Hokie Nation in general, is that we're a very aware fan base of both situations that are going on and how much it matters to the program. So, I mean, you saw the entire community of Blacksburg, pouring on love for this guy. They know how much this guy could mean to our program, and they acted accordingly. And that's outside of the school and the coaches and everything else. I'm talking about just the community. You got signs everywhere, handmade and everything. So, I mean, they were showing this guy some love. And like I said, that's what I appreciate about our fan base, is that they are so self-aware with things like that. They understand, recruiting to a point, and they understand at least the importance of getting somebody like him to come to Blacksburg. And that's what I love to see. And, by all accounts, it seems like he had a good time, loves Blacksburg, loves the coaching staff, loves the feel of Lane. So I'm hoping that we can close the deal with him, obviously. I think with him and with Tony, we're going to get the bigger pushes, obviously, because we've got some really blue blood programs that are going after both of those guys,
absolutely,
really hard. But I'm hoping that that the family aspect that we've been talking about, and the fact that we can take advantage of some of his versatility in our offense that we've been talking about, I'm hoping those two things come to fruition and we can really get him into Blacksburg, and I think he can really be something special.
Yeah, agreed with that. And again, like I said last episode, the options there for him and Tony, the options are going to be there to come in and compete and possibly get a starting job right away. Now, one thing I thought was so cool, and give credit, again, it's the building, it's some of the foundational pieces that are being built, but some of the photos and the photo ops at Lane were cool, and the coolest one, I know I sent it to you, was that picture of him and Fuente. They looked like you could tell they were kind of chatting, walking back down the tunnel in black and white.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who captured that, but that's one of those cool things. You don't know what's being said there, but it's one of those things where there was no other coaches around. There were no other players, none of his family. That looked like one of those walks of, was it a pitch of the program?
Yeah.
And
I mean, the picture definitely, it spoke to a lot of people. I think that was the one that I think was shared around the most. Like I say, you shared it with me specifically, even though I'd already seen kind of the collage that had been shared earlier. So I was like, yeah, that one definitely speaks louder than some of the other ones. The other ones were, you got your typical photo with the fam and the coaching staff, and you got your padded up glamour shots. But that one just kind of, it spoke a little bit more.
It felt like it wasn't a stage like the other ones were. It wasn't like we gathered everybody together to take the picture, or, hey, we're going to get you in front of the backdrop of the, I always try to go, it's north, south, was that east stands?
Yeah.
The non-student section stand. That's what I can consider it. And they're cool, but that looked like it was one of those off-the-cuff moments, like, hey, we're going to go back to the office, and it's like, hey, mom and dad, you guys, they're going to tour you around, but I'm going to go with Coach. And it's just kind of like whoever was there was like, they're saying stuff, click, caption time. Maybe when, if he signs that, the letter of intent, that should be the one with the letter of intent that's there for our hopes. So, I did not get to watch the basketball game last night. Did you catch any of the unfortunate loss to the Tar
I watched a little bit of it last night. I was able to get the, some of the first half in, a little bit of the second half. Just in general, it was one of those classic Hokie games in the back half of the year, where we saw if the three's not falling, it's going to be a long night. And we had some of the similar struggles, and credit to North Carolina, because they did look more like what I thought they would have looked earlier in the year. And I think some of that is just finally getting healthy a little bit as the season wraps up. But as far as just barometer and how I feel about the whole situation, I mean, I think overall we have a success for year one of the Mike Young era, because I don't think, I mean, nobody thought 16-16 was going to be something that this team could achieve at the start of the season. As they started piling some of the wins earlier, I think we probably recalibrated our expectations probably a little higher than they should have been. And success does that. I mean, we've done that many times in football before, where we have success out of the gate and we recalibrate, and then we get our hearts ripped out a little bit. So I think that's kind of where Hokie Nation was with some of this. And the back half is that, you know, once you've recalibrated those expectations, those losses hurt a little bit more, and you got to say, okay, let's take that red pill and get back to reality a little bit.
Completely agree, man. I think 16-16 for the Mike Young are a great start. Very young team, very small team. The way you feel, the only guy potentially could leave is Landers Nolley. And just, I think Landers, I think what it showed with him this year, I think he's a great player, but I think being the man, the grind got to him. And if for no other reason, he should stay in for one reason. Dude, you go out there and prove that you can lead a team for 30 games and be the man for 30 games without falling off, because of essentially what it is you're 19 years old and you're the man, you are the man on a college, Division I basketball team in a major conference. I think that's good. Let's hope he comes back. All right, so this is a little preview, guys. The 20th, day before spring ball starts, we are going to be doing essentially call it a grades. We'll be doing a position preview episodes. We're going to hit every position. We're going to give our individual grades of where we feel the position is before spring ball. And I'm putting the highlight on that before spring ball because clearly you have the guys going to be coming in with recruiting. And clearly, like the cornerback position this year, we'll talk about it more, but our top three corners will not be at spring practice, which is big, but some opportunities there.
Definitely some opportunities, and especially when we're talking about building not just for 2020, but building going forward. I mean, obviously getting these guys more reps against, ones and twos versus like practice squad or anything like that. That's going to pay dividends down the road. So getting as many of those guys out there as possible is going to be good. And I think, what we want to do with this episode is really kind of give you essentially take the temperature where we think the depth is right now before we get any sort of on the field reactions from spring ball, from spring practice or anything like that. And roll into spring practice with a little bit of energy, because we can kind of feel good about where I think some of the spots are on this roster. And there's going to be a couple that we're probably going to highlight that we're either unsure about or feel a little sketchy about, but I think we're gonna give you guys something to look forward to with that.
Absolutely. Now the question also will be, will we scream at each other in this episode when I give a bad grade and your football knowledge is like, you're a moron, Curtis? Maybe not.
Maybe Brian, we'll see. It depends on how egregious we go there, man.
All right, Brian, you've got something you want to invite our listeners to, so go for it, big guy.
All right. Well, me and Curtis for probably about 6 or 7 years now have been doing this get together at a spot that we love, Hurley's Tavern, out in the West End.
At the Shops at Innsbruck.
Shops at Innsbruck, yes, sir. And you hear the shout out there on if any of you guys listen to Wes McElroy, you're gonna hear that spot shouted out a lot. That's one of our favorite spots too. We're out there a lot, and we, like I said, every year the Friday that March Madness kicks off, we always have a get together. We have some coworkers come in, some friends, but any of the listeners out there in the 804, we want to cordially invite you to our March Madness kickoff at Hurley's Tavern, March 20th. We usually set up shop around noon. We've got the back room to ourselves. We have that running from noon to 5. So anytime you guys want to stop in that day, watch some basketball, grab a beer, chat us up a little bit, feel free to do that. And, come up to us, let us know who you are, and we'll let you know how we're doing and watch some good basketball. Hopefully, as long as the coronavirus does not cause any more havoc on this situation.
Oh, just shake my head at that, man. Yeah, and by all means, if you are interested but have more questions, feel free to drop a line at the Boundary Podcast Twitter account. We can help you out if you need to know where it is. Again, it's the Shops at Innsbrook. It's at the intersection of Broad and Cox. So, if you want to come by. It should be a lot of fun. All right, now speaking of going to Hurley's on a Friday afternoon and drinking beer, day drinking, which used to come to us pretty easy.
Man, it's like you hit 30 and all of a sudden, man, this hangover is hitting different, man.
And then talking about earlier about spring break, the poll question this week, little fun. What is your go-to hangover cure? No medicine involved. And the selections are the hair of the dog, a case of Gatorade, some good greasy food, or just let me sleep all day, don't bother me. So chime in. Me and Brian will be voting on that.
Curtis, what's your hair of the dog? What's your go-to hair of the dog?
Whenever I was drinking the night before, you got to trick the body.
Okay, so whatever it was, if you're drinking Coors, you're going Coors.
You find a Coors.
If you're drinking Jack, at least let's do a little Jack and Coke to start the day.
Exactly. Whatever you had, you have to get what you have back in you, because if not, you're risking the body rejecting what you don't have. Very dangerous. Personally, I always felt like it was stages. There were some that just do that. Some are you need Gatorade, some greasy food. Some were just the nights where it's like, listen, I need to sleep like till 5 o'clock. Nobody bother me. So, but
if I wake up with just the headache, if I've got the pounding headache, let me go ahead and pound some Gatorade. That usually knocks it out for me.
It's all what you did the night before and what you have to do that day. So,
what's the go-to Gatorade for you though? What's the go-to Gatorade? You go. I usually go lemon lime, man. I usually go lemon lime or orange.
See, as I got older, I felt like lemon, lime, orange, and even red would give me terrible heartburn. So I always felt the blue was the better one to go with.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sticking blue.
Sticking with the blue. Awesome. Well, Hokie Nation, we thank you guys for continuing to follow us on this podcast. I think, Brian, we're closing in on 200 plus listens. We're closing in on 200 plus Twitter followers. We really appreciate you guys, creating the conversation, giving us feedback. It does mean a lot to us. And by all means, if you have suggestions or if you want to give us some feedback, put a DM out to us. Tweet us. Not going to hurt our feelings. We're big boys.
Yeah, I mean, and some of you follow me personally on Twitter, not just at the Boundary Corner page. So, if you want to hit me up directly, feel free to do that. I will listen. I will take any criticism or compliments, whatever it is, man. I've definitely always had a want of constructive criticism. So feel free to hit us with whatever you got, and we'll definitely take it to heart and try to make this thing better.
Awesome, and I agree with him. Same with my personal account as well. That's going to wrap up the episode today, Hokie Nation of the Boundary Corner Podcast. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
We'll let Jason play you guys out as always. Check him out on Spotify, Apple Music. Thank you for listening. And as always, let's go.
Hokies.